Oh, chill out. I'm on video. Alright, what's up, guys? So, right now, I think we're about 2 towns away from our last final stop on the road. And I'm a little nervous, as I've mentioned before, you know. But I'm hoping that this is going to be a pretty good life. I've already just put an application in this morning for the Walmart in the nearby town over there. And their pay rates are actually pretty good compared to what I had a couple years ago when I worked for them. About $17 to $30 an hour, depending on what you're doing. So I'm hoping I get my old job back working with Walmart, because yeah, that's hourly wages you can't really beat for the most part, you know. So, anyways, so my landlord is gonna let me have animals once I get the money to get them. You know, I'm hoping mainly just for a couple. I'm gonna say at least about 5 or 6 chickens. You know, 5 hens and a rooster. Um, Maybe a couple of goats or a couple of sheep. Most likely some sheep. And then from there, might get some bees too, and a garden if he allows it. But outside of that, you know, he's sounds like he's giving me some pretty good leeway. I hope. I don't want to go and spoil it or whatever, but you know, he's usually giving me. See, he's actually the admin for one of my Facebook groups I'm on, so he usually gives me pretty good leeway, anyways, for what we're doing. Hi, Nabs, how are you, bud? Um, but this is kind of a different situation, obviously. But let's see here. Okay. Trying to redo one of my scanners. Yeah, I finally figured out. Hi, Amy. How are you? I finally figured out how to get the scanner going, and then for whatever reason, the number 7 button on this radio does not want to work, which is not good. Can't stay in chat for long, but just saying, hey, can you say what state you'll be living in? Hey, Lambo. We'll be in northern New Mexico. That's all I'm going to say. But anyways, yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I'm nervous too, you know, and honestly, I feel like this should have been done years ago. But I feel like this is probably the best decision that we are making, and you know, I'm hoping. You know, I mean, I'm hoping to move on. You know, I'm hoping to, you know, get married. You know, either have some kids or adopt some kids or whatever. You know, I would love to do that. You know, especially would love to adopt. There's way too many children in the system that need homes, in my opinion. Um, you know, just stuff like that. You know, I think the only thing that would scare me really is just the way society is these days. You know, I would probably be okay. Why can't I get this part out? Hold on 1 second. I can't get this undone. Oh, I see what it is. Okay. Anyways, just the way society is these days, with what goes on in schools and in public and stuff like that. You know, I always thought it was funny because I was homeschooled most of my time, and I always see those Facebook posts where, you know, people are saying, you know, the kids are going to grow up weird and if they're homeschooled and yada yada yada, and it's like, well, you know, in some cases that might be true, but I can tell you right now, when I'm homeschooling or if I homeschool or whatever, I can tell you right now, them kids ain't gonna be going into the bathroom acting like cats using a litter box. That actually does happen, by the way. I've seen reports where these kids are now, they, you know, it's crazy to me. because they'll go and pretend that there's some other animal, cat, dog, whatever, and now these schools, elementary, middle, high school, are now allowing these kids, especially those that identify as cats, to use a litter box. This is legit real. And that mind boggles me. And it's like, I don't want to be around that sort of deal. And I'm definitely not going to allow my kids to be around that sort of deal. Adopted or not. No, they're going to be homeschooled. I do not care. I feel a lot more comfortable with knowing what my children are being taught, or any children, really. Ooh, did I get it? Wait, I need to undo this. There we go. Sweet. Okay, where was I? Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. How is your day? Well, it's really hot. And did I get the rest of it? Okay, there we go. All right. Anyways, it's really hot, which I'm not a fan of. And I need to, I think once it cools off, I got to hitchhike to the next town, which is about, I think about 96, 100 miles. Oh, I know, I agree. It's really not, but at the same time, our world, our country, our community, our lives is what we make of it. I think that's one of the reasons why for so many years I was comfortable hoboing. I'm still comfortable with it, just not for health reasons. What was I saying? It's what you make of it. It's like when I was homeschooled the first time. I was homeschooled twice. When I was homeschooled the first time, we were lucky because we were living in Houston at the time, and didn't really know anybody other than the kids that were on the street, on our street or whatever. Which we lived in a cul-de-sac after Hurricane Katrina and Rita hit us. They tore down this bridge that used to go over this bayou, and they turned it into a cul-de-sac. But anyways, I was the only one homeschooled on the whole block. So, give me 1 second. Where's it at? Where is it at? Where in the world did I put it? I know, I just saw it. Where is it? Oh, there it is, right there. I'm such an idiot. It's right there in front of me. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it's really just what you make of it, If your community, excuse my language, is shit and you're not doing anything about it, then in my opinion, reality is that's on you, It's like when I walk on rail lines, or if I'm out riding the rails and I get off somewhere in a town or a city, regardless of the size, and I see the tracks is completely trashed on the sides where people were camping and such, I cleaned it up. That's to me, that's a good thing, because the reality is, not only are you keeping the area clean for yourself and the next person that has to come through, but that's less trash that has to be that has to be dealt with on the streets or whatever. Um, and that goes on with other stuff too, like people who are on drugs and alcohol, and God forbid there's somebody registered as a sex offender living in an area that has a bunch of kids, which mind boggles me on why law enforcement would allow such a thing, but it's whatever. Okay, let's see here. But anyways, yeah, so Rob, what's up, bud? How are you, bud? So yeah, he's gonna allow us to get some animals whenever, like when I can afford it. And then let's see here. From there, I'm scared of somebody walking up behind me, especially with my headphones on. From there, we're going to expand are solar capabilities again, because I am hoping. I found out that the town I'll be working in has a amateur radio club, and I need to get my not only my GMRS but my ham radio license too, which I've been studying for. And so I'm going to go to them hopefully within the next few months or whatever, and take the test. Pray to God I get get my technician's license at least, so I can actually start transmitting or broadcasting or whatever. So I got to deal with those. And I got to expand radio club. Yeah, I know. Well, it's the only way that you could take the test. Really, is you got to go through a radio club in order to go ahead and get your ham license. All three of it, actually. Outside of that, because like I use, like I got. I mean, obviously, I've shown y'all before. I got my CBs and Baofangs, and I got FRS, GMRS radios right here and such. And I got. I got all this. I love radios. I prefer this over cell phone usage. At least it keeps me. Why are you driving so slow? Quit looking at me. That's so creepy, dude. I hate it when people do that. Let's see. Function button, powers on and off. Anyways, yeah, I like radios more than I enjoy using cell phones, which is crazy because obviously I'm using it to talk to you guys. But what is this? That's not it. Okay, that is for the screen. But I don't know. I think what was I gonna say? I need to turn this off. I can't think. There we go. Larch, you're in Farmington? Oh no, dude. Oh, I can't believe I'm gonna do this. Okay, Larch, I'm actually in Bloomfield right now. I'm literally 13 miles away from you, dude. I'm actually at the library. Yeah, that's as far as anybody's gonna know. That's all I'm gonna say is I'm in Bloomfield right now. I'm east of you, dude. Let's see. Matter of fact, we were hanging out at the Starbucks on the east side of town where, yeah, I swear to God, dude, look, watch. There's the Bloomfield Library right there. Yeah. We were actually, when we were in Farmington, we got dropped off over there, and we were hanging out at the Starbucks on the east side of town where Harbor Freight is, and had to go get a solar panel from there. So yeah, we'll be here for probably until tonight. We'll walk outside town, unless you don't mind getting us out of here. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Whatever. Okay, let's see. I was just at Chaco Canyon. Where is that exactly? I'm not familiar with this part of New Mexico. All of this is new to me. Matter of fact, the guy that was dropping us off, the Uber driver, kept asking what I knew about this area. I'm like, dude, I don't know anything about this part of New Mexico. I've never been here before. You probably know more than I do. Let's see. Put that right. I think so. Okay. And put. I don't like the way they make these things. I have a car if you need help. I would love some help. I'm actually trying to get out of here. I honestly don't feel comfortable here. And it's nothing against the town. It's just, I'll put it this way. I spent $40 yesterday, or not yesterday, but $40 the past couple of days being here at the Family Dollar on the east side of town. Was not even allowed to use the restroom. Matter of fact, I was just given a straight no, and then the manager walked off without saying anything, and that really pissed me off last night. But yeah, I would love to get out of here, dude. This back on right. Come on. Okay, right. Yep, there. Right there. All right, got it. But, I'm camping at BLM near Farmington. I didn't know there was even BLM land out here. out here, everything looks the same to me. But I'm honestly hoping this is gonna be a long term thing. I hope it's a permanent thing. You know, I think I've done just about everything I can hoboing. You know, I think I've rode over 40 different rail lines or companies. I've rode just about every single major class one company. It's kind of shocking now that Norfolk Southern and UP are in the mix of talks for a merger, which is always funny because every time UP merges with somebody, it's not even a merger. It's literally just a company takeover. And okay, so what I mean is Union Pacific owns Southern Pacific, Cotton Belt, MKT. They own all these different companies. Every time they do a merger, they never keep the company name of the other company that they're merging with. You know, like we just had Kansas City Southern merged with Canadian Pacific. Yeah, Canadian Pacific a couple years ago, and now they're the CPKC, Canadian Pacific Kansas City. UP never does that. It's the most stupidest thing I've ever seen or heard of, and I just pray that the transportation board or whoever the hell it is that oversees that stuff does not does not let them do it, because that's the dumbest. That's gonna be the biggest monopoly of railroads right there is UP and Norfolk Southern doing something stupid and crazy like this. I don't care what their reasonings are. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We have plenty of rail lines, you know, going from the East Coast to the West Coast. We don't need another company merging with each other. It's ridiculous. You know, there's a reason why we don't allow such a thing anyways, you know? It's stupid. Anyways, Larch, are you being serious, dude? Like, are you being serious? I would, because if so, I will stay here all day waiting on you. I really will. Trying to. Well, when can we do this? Because I really don't feel comfortable being here for another couple of days. Damn it. Okay. Put it on like this then. Actually, I need to wipe all that off. Yeah, anyways, one of the things I'm hoping to do eventually is once I get my license, I know, but when? Because I'm worried that if the library, because I've already had people complain about the dogs when we were tied up closer to the building. If law enforcement comes over here and I don't have a definite answer on when we can leave, they can actually make us leave. Oh, well, if that's the case, then yeah, we'll stay here all day then, waiting on you. That's fine. I'm actually kind of surprised law enforcement hasn't come out here yet. I mean, they drove by, but they haven't said anything to us. Jesus Christ, that is just disgusting looking. Gee, look at that. That's part of the reason why I can barely hear. I can hear this thing better through the headphones than I can through the speaker. Ain't that so? What was I gonna say? Anyways, another reason I want to get my license and such is I've noticed over the past couple years, well, how far are you able to go? I have no money to give for gas. If I did, I would definitely give you gas money. How far are you able to go? Because I really need to get to the town of Chama, because I can get picked up there on either Saturday or Sunday. They'll come and get me from Chama, but they won't go any farther than that. I'm staying in this area for a week and then Utah. You were just in Chama. I mean, would you like some gas money to go to Chama? Is that what it is? If so, I can probably ask somebody. I have a little a little Corolla. Uh, hmm. Would $20 work? Anyways, I've noticed the past couple years you're visiting a friend in Aztec. I mean, I could wait for a little bit. You know, I'm actually pretty patient compared to most people. I've noticed the past couple years I've gotten really into heavy into electronics and such, which is one of the reasons why I got into radios to begin with. And so one of my things I want to experiment with is building on the ham frequencies, different types of towers and stuff like that. You know, the thing is the higher you are on elevation, the more of a range you're gonna get. And so, being out in an area where you're going to be in in like a desert area, like where I'm gonna be basically in a field, but there's gonna be mountains and hills surrounding me from about maybe 20 or so miles away. Come on. And so, from that point of view, I think having a nice tower, I can help you out with $20 if you need it. I can meet you at the library in a couple hours. That's fine. I'll be here until they close at least. I just don't want. I don't like walking the dogs in the heat. It's one of the reasons I quit doing the wagon thing. I feel like having a tower, you know, just a homemade tower about, I'd say 25, 30 feet high up in the sky with all different antennas, because I'm going to be expanding my radio set. So I'm getting, first off, I need to get a bike. And that's going to have a mobile radio rig built on the handlebars and the back area of the bike, which sounds crazy, I know, but it's one of the reasons why I like dealing with it. I love experimenting with radios and the equipment that goes with them, CB, ham, whatever. Anyways, so we're gonna build that as a mobile rig, because again, I really don't like dealing with cell phones. If Walmart wasn't so into having us use them, that's one thing a lot of people don't realize with us employees is that when we're working, if you see us on our phone, we're not slacking off. In fact, a lot of our stuff that we have to do, like when we're searching for stuff, or if we need to chat with a manager that we can't find, we can actually talk to them through the Walmart app as an employee. So, you know, if they didn't have that, I probably would have just stuck with my flip phone instead, because that flip phone's a lot more reliable than these modern Androids. Thank you, Larch. Matter of fact, if you don't follow me on my Facebook group, you should. I had the phone I'm using right now actually literally quit on me about a week ago, and all my stuff from my video games to stuff I was working on for YouTube videos, everything was gone. It quit on me, told me I had to factory reset it, all this other stuff. So it's one of the reasons why I'd rather just have my radios, because nobody wants to go paper anymore. Everybody wants to go digital, believing they're saving the planet, when the reality is you probably spend more time, more resources. Hold on, I gotta do this without breaking the wire. more resources on building said phone and computer and every other thing, the batteries especially, to build something like that, which takes more resources and energy to do, which is more crap going up in the air that's not good for you than it would if we were doing everything by paper. And the thing is, I'm not even for using paper, or at least not the paper that we're so used to using. I would rather we use hemp paper, but no, nobody wants to go with hemp paper for reasons I'm not even going to get into on here because I'll start cussing like a storm. Uh, Excuse me. Ugh, I hate having stuffy noses. Nobody wants to use hemp paper, but the moment something else comes out that's innovative and can actually help people, you never hear from the person that did the invention again. Matter of fact, I know there's a guy who I can't remember what he invented. It was some excuse me for describing it like this, some black guy, probably I think he's like 2021. I think where you could turn plastic into gasoline or something like that, and he was receiving death threats and all these other horrible things, and he had to go. Well, we thought at first that he was killed, which again wouldn't surprise me, but come to find out he was actually he was in hiding, and his mom won't tell anybody, and I wouldn't either. Why would I tell everybody where my son is when we got people literally trying to kill him? This is one of the reasons why I couldn't get involved with politics and stuff like that, because it's literally just a game of kill or be killed. Much as I hate to say it, it's true. Let's see if that works. There we go. All right. Yes, got it finally. Oh my god! Now I can turn CB on. So this is this scanner right here. You can't. It's just a scanner. You can't talk on it. But you can actually listen to stuff like Marine, UHF, VHF. You can listen to ham radio, CB radio, GMRS, FRS, and aircraft or whatever. And so literally this was just $1. This was one of the best finds I ever got from a thrift store. Was this? So, matter of fact, while I'm here, I'm gonna go ahead and do a little test on it. Okay. Give me 1 second. Alright, so we are on channel 1, 26.965 megahertz, which is CB channel 1. See if I can get it going. Now, the speaker sucks, as you can probably hear, but channel 1, CB, doing a test. Does anybody copy? See, you got me right there. And so that's why I like these radios. I love these. This is, in my opinion, this is the best communication that there is out there. And the thing is, okay, that might be a little bit of a stretch. The thing is, another one of the reasons why I love using this stuff is because of the fact. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Anyways, it's because of the fact that, look at cell phones, for example, right? I pay $40 a month. It used to be 25, now it's 40 for a month of service on this phone alone. Now, I know there's things like Mint Mobile and all that. I don't really feel like getting into that. The thing is, you're paying however much money. I mean, I know people who are paying hundreds of dollars a month just for unlimited. And don't get me wrong, phones have their places in society. But I feel like we've relied on cell phones too much. For example, yesterday, Larch will know what I'm talking about. We were at a park on the east side of Bloomfield, right across the street from Family Dollar, and this guy in this purple semi truck, he's making a left turn if you're heading eastbound to go northbound, and apparently his radiator, no, not his radiator, his alternator died, and it killed both his batteries. So if you're looking at the four-way like this, he's about halfway like this, right? And he was able to get the truck backed up, but he couldn't go anywhere after that. So seeing that he has like three antennas and that he has a radio dangling from the middle, and not knowing that his alternator went off, I ended up trying to, get him over the radio. I'm on channel 19, hey, you all right? Blah, 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 blah. And I didn't get an answer. Now, in my opinion, what I would have done in that kind of situation, if I was the driver, because he was trying to use his CB, I don't think he was able to get anything off of it. He couldn't even get it turned on, apparently. If I was in that situation where I had no power or my antenna wasn't working or whatever, that's why I go with handhelds. I love using handhelds. Now, of course, you can only get like a few miles off this thing, depending on the terrain. But for the most part, this radio has actually saved my life in quite a few different ways. Matter of fact, when we were walking on that highway, which one was it? I think I got it over here. Highway 50. When we were walking Highway 50 towards through Nevada, there were times where we didn't have any water at all, and but when there was truckers going by, if their radios were on, I can literally, call for them and let them know, hey, we need water over here. Most time they'll give us water, and sometimes if they didn't have radios, all I had to do was take a jug or whatever, lift it up, and they'll see it and they know that hey, we need water. But the point is radios are so much easier to use in communication wise, because the reality is all you really need to be is within range and on the channel that they're on, or the person is on, regardless of what kind of radio you're using. And that's really all there is to it. You get on the radio and that's about it. So it's like, and really when you think about it, the thing is, you got three kinds of radios that you can use freely without a license, that being CB over here, FRS, and MERS radios, right? And then of course you got to pay $35 for a GMRS license, but that's every 10 years, and then it's $35 for your ham radios license. And I think that's either, is it for life or is it every 10 years too? I can't remember. What was I thinking? Why can't we just go back to that when why can't we just go back to that? Why pay so much money for a cell phone to use monthly? And that seems to be just technology in general, not just cell phones. This just hit me. Okay, not just cell phones. You also have stuff related to like your vehicles, for example. Now I know cars are needed for a lot of different things. I get that. Freight operations, firefighting, law enforcement. You need to go to work 30 miles away or whatever. But there will be times where, I hate throwing my aunt under the bus, but she does this. She lives literally 2 blocks away from a convenience store that I used to work at, by the way. And she'll drive over there just to get a pack of smokes. That's it. And maybe a drink. and that it's wasteful. It's a waste of gas. It's a waste of your car's lifespan. If she was having to drive 10, 15 miles away, I get that. But it's like, why can't you just walk? Or in some cases, why can't people just bike ride? Now, of course, people are going to say that's not doable, but hear me out. There's literally a firefighter. You can look this up. Firefighter bikes to work every day, or whatever it was. He bike rides 4 hours, 125 miles from his house to the fire station that he works at every shift. And he doesn't have to really pay insurance or anything like that. Okay, there we go. Sweet. Anyways, it seems like it's such a waste of money, in my opinion, to be paying monthly stuff for this. Another thing is Netflix or whatever other streaming service there is. Matter of fact, Disney Plus would be the best example of this. I used to be the biggest Disney fan ever. I had every Disney movie on VHS that came out and on DVD up until, I want to say, what was it? Let's see. I went on the road in November of 2014. So I probably had just about every single movie up to that point before I went on the road. I didn't have to pay another fee or whatever again to watch those movies. Because guess what? I own those movies physically now. But then you'll have these people that will pay, I don't know how much Netflix or Disney Plus are, but these people will pay, let's say, guys, help me out. What's a typical, I can't look it up because it would take me off the video. What is the typical monthly fee for something like Netflix or whatever, or Disney Plus? Use Disney Plus, for example. Let's say $20 a month, right? Okay. You already own all the movies. I've literally talked to people who are watching the same movies that they already own on VHS or DVD on Disney Plus. And I'm like, why? That makes no sense whatsoever. And they're like, oh, well, better quality. I don't care about the quality. I just want to be able to watch the movie. If the movie is in 1990s or 1980s VHS quality, I'm fine with that. At least I get to watch the movie. Now take that $20 that you just spent on Disney Plus or whatever the hell it is you're spending on. That easily could have gone for gas. That easily could have gone for food at the time when Dollar Tree was still $1 or whatever you go to. I don't know. It just feels like we're spending so much money on things that don't matter anymore. Because here's the thing. If I do get my job back with Walmart, I'm 30 miles away from this Walmart. So now I'm going to have to either walk, which I'm not going to be able to do for the most part, or I'm going to have to bike ride, which I'm completely fine with doing. If a firefighter, an active firefighter, is able to bike ride 4 hours, 125 miles, now I got law enforcement doing their little thing here with me. Come on, dude, what do you want? Hold on. Let's see what he does. Just stopped right there by that white truck. Come on, dude. What is up with this? And now he's turning around again. Come on, bud. What are we doing here? He's either going to go in the parking lot or he's going to go come up around me and try to do something stupid. Yeah, because apparently it's illegal to be in a public park filming a video. Who would have thought? I'm actually curious to see where this goes. Hold on. Where is he going? Where'd he go? Come on, dude. Where did you go? Yeah, he's definitely either he went somewhere else or he's in the parking lot. Something. Anyways, yeah, if a firefighter can bike ride for 4 hours at 125 miles just to go to work, I'm pretty sure I can bike ride for 30 miles just to go to Walmart every time I need to, you know. This is what happens when I keep rambling. I forget half of what I was talking about. All right, well, I'm gonna get off here because I have a feeling law enforcement's gonna come over because I know for a fact somebody was complaining. They complain all the time. Doesn't matter where I go. I could be in a public park by myself, doing nothing but watching a movie or writing something, and the next thing you know, somebody's gonna call law enforcement because they're so offended that I'm over here. Where is he? I know he was looking at me when he drove by. He wouldn't have slowed down the way he did when he did that. Oh Lord. Alright. Well, I will see you guys later. Peace.